In this video, I'm going to talk about getting traffic from Craigslist and other ad sites. Now, this doesn't work as well as it used to a few years ago. However, it's not as washed up as some people might have you believe. Traffic from these sites has three advantages. First of all, it's targeted traffic. The ads get indexed regularly, so they show up in Google rankings and other search engines. Plus, you get a backlink from an authority site, so it's good for website SEO or search engine optimization. Now, before you put your ad up, you must make sure that it's for something specific. So it should be for a product or for a service or for a giveaway. And it must be keyword rich so it gets indexed. Now, Craigslist has clamped down in recent years on the parts of their site where you can post an ad with a clickable link. Unfortunately, people used to spam Craigslist with all sorts of advertisements that weren't for anything in particular, purely and solely to get the backlink to their website for SEO purposes. So Craigslist has now clamped down on where you're allowed to post a clickable link, but that doesn't mean to say that you can't do it. Now, one of the areas on Craigslist where you can still post with a clickable link, or at least you can at the time that I'm making this video, is in the community section. You can still do it here. You generally can't in any of these areas over here now, but you generally can in this particular area here in the community section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post an ad into the community section, and I'm going to post an ad into the community groups section. I'm using the New York City Craigslist for this demonstration, but there are lots of other instances of Craigslist throughout the US and in other countries as well. So what I'm going to do, come here to Post to Classifieds, and I'll scroll down and go into Community and click on Groups. And I can choose a location that fits best. I'm going to say Manhattan, and then I'm going to say Tribeca, and then you fill out the information here, the email address and the posting title. So I'm just call this a test post, and then you would write your ad in here, and again you would have plenty of keywords. Then we go in there, and then you would post your link, and it has to be the full URL, including the HTTP. So you do all that, then come down to here and click on continue, and then go through the procedure for finishing off posting the ad. Now, this does vary depending on where you are in the world. In some countries, they will call you on the phone and it has to be a local number. In other countries, they'll send you an email and you just have to click on the clickable link. Now, if you can't post in a category with a clickable link, you can still get traffic from Craigslist. What you need to do is just include your website address at the top and bottom of your ad. And you want to have it on a separate line so that it really stands out. And people can then copy and paste the link into their web browsers if they want more information. Now, when you're posting to Craigslist, you want to make sure, first and foremost, that your ad complies with Craigslist guidelines. That it isn't for making money online or anything similar, because those ads are banned now, because, as I was saying earlier, people used to spam Craigslist quite mercilessly for this sort of thing. It mustn't be spammy, and very importantly, you mustn't include the phrase "click the link," because again, that will mark it out as being spam. And also, don't post too often, and don't paste the same ad to more than one instance of Craigslist. As you can see, there are lots of different Craigslist, but if you put the same ad in the same category on every single Craigslist that you can find, you're going to get banned sooner or later, and probably sooner. Now, of course, Craigslist isn't the only free ad site out there. If you do a search in Google for free ad sites, you'll find there's a whole lot of them, and there's probably going to be others that are closer to you as well. As you can see here in the UK, there's Free Ad Site and Friday Ad and all sorts of other good stuff here. And you can use the same sort of techniques that you would use on Craigslist in these ad sites as well. I mean, obviously, the procedure is going to vary slightly depending on what the ad site's terms and conditions and policies are. But generally, even if you can't put a clickable link in there, you can probably put a copy and paste link. So there we go, a quick way to get traffic from Craigslist and other ad sites. In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can use ad swaps for fast, free traffic. Now, this video isn't very long because this method is actually very, very simple. To use this, you're going to need, first of all, an autoresponder service. You're going to need a list of subscribers. You're going to need a compelling offer, and usually that involves a free giveaway, so a free report, free ebook, that sort of thing. And the way that it works is a bit like this. It involves you and another mailing list owner. You contact the other mailing list owner and you set up an ad swap. They send an email to their list promoting your offer, and you reciprocate by sending an email to your list promoting their offer. And this works best when you're both in the same or related niche and you both have similar size lists. In order to make this work, you're going to need a good autoresponder service, and a good couple to consider are Aweber, which you can find here at aweber.com, and MailChimp, which you'll find here at mailchimp.com. If you're looking for ad swaps, a good place to look for them is on the Warrior Forum Joint Ventures section, the Warrior Joint Ventures section, which you can find here at warriorforum.com/warrior-joint-ventures. And as you can see at the time I'm making this video, there is actually somebody advertising here for a JV or ad swap or cross promotion. Obviously can't spell for the Forex niche, but you can also find a lot of ad swaps in the internet marketing niche on this particular site. Now, here are a few tips on running an effective ad swap campaign. First of all, you want to make your ad compelling, short, and to the point. Bear in mind that this is going to be sent to people by email, so you want to make sure that the subject of the email arouses their curiosity, that they don't have to spend too much time reading through the ad, and that there's a strong call to action that gets them to click on the link to go to your site. If possible, you should split test the ad by getting the other party to send the email to one part of his or her list at a time. Now, not everyone can do this. It all depends on what type of autoresponder software they're running or what autoresponder service they're using. But if they can just send it to one part of their list at a time, and you can gauge how effective this ad is, you can tweak it, rewrite it, test it, and then roll it out to the entire list, and you know you're going to get the maximum response. To do this, you need to make sure that you have tracking on your site and a way of measuring how effective your ad is. So you can have, say, Google Analytics or some of the ad tracking software that comes bundled with cPanel. Now, a good way to see how effective your ad is to send traffic to a unique squeeze page on your site or a unique part of your blog, so that you know that only traffic from this particular ad is being sent to that page. And then you can work out how often after the ad is sent that people go there. You'll know how many emails are being sent, so you can work out the percentage, and then you can see exactly how effective your ad is. And finally, don't do this too often. you've got to send an ad to your list advertising the other person's product or service. So you want to make sure that there's not too much advertising. Otherwise, it's going to put people off. They're not going to subscribe to your list, or if they do stay subscribed, they're not going to bother opening your emails. And of course, that's going to be detrimental to your own business. So there you go, a very brief video, but a very simple way of getting traffic for free to your website. And this, in my experience, is probably the most effective way of getting free traffic to a website or a blog. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips for getting quick and easy traffic via YouTube. Now, YouTube is the second most popular search engine on the web, right after Google, which happens to own YouTube. And top-ranked videos on YouTube often get shown on the first page of Google. So you can jump through a lot of different hoops in one go and get straight onto the first page of Google with a highly ranked YouTube video. And the good news is, it's easier to get ranked on YouTube because there's less competition. And this is YouTube, which you'll find here at youtube.com. And before you can upload videos to the site, you will have to open an account, but it is all free. If you've got an account with Google, if you've got a Gmail account or anything like that, you'll automatically be assigned a YouTube account. Okay, let's put together a YouTube traffic plan. First thing you want to do is open a YouTube account and set up a channel. Your channel name should, of course, incorporate at least 2 keywords or be your business name. That way it can be referenced back to who you are or what you do. Then you want to write a video script, and it's very important that you actually write this out. I'll explain why in a moment. But it should be keyword rich, and it should be in a conversational style. And you should practice reading it. You should practice reading it aloud, and you should practice reading it in front of a mirror if you're going to be appearing on camera, so that you can get the delivery absolutely perfect. Now, there are 2 types of video that you can make. There are ones where you appear on camera, and there are also videos that are just graphics and audio. These are sometimes known as PowerPoint and Camtasia videos after the types of software that's involved. And this type of video is a PowerPoint and Camtasia video. Now, I don't have time to go into the mechanics of video making in this video because it is quite a complicated subject, but there are lots of videos on YouTube that can help point you in the right direction. What I can tell you, though, is that there are a few tools that you're going to need in order to make an effective video. First thing you're going to need, if you're going to appear in the video, that is a video camera, and you can usually pick up a good one on eBay. If you're going to do this, do make sure that you get a video camera that has an external microphone socket, because the microphones that come built into video cameras tend to be good for sort of ambient sounds. But when you're trying to record someone who's speaking to camera, they can sound a bit boxy. So when you have a microphone socket and you can plug in a separate microphone, a lavalier microphone or a lapel mic or a tie mic, or even have a desk-mounted microphone, then you can get a much better sound. You can also use a cell phone if you've got one that does video, but again, you want to make sure that you can plug in an external microphone. And eBay is a very good place to look for both of these items. You're going to need some software to create your video. In particular, you're going to need some software to edit it. And a good site to look for this on is freeserifsoftware.com, where you can get software from Serif. 2 packages that I recommend are, first of all, Serif Movie Plus, which you can download from here to edit your video, and also Draw Plus for graphics. If you're going to have some graphics in your video that you want to create from scratch, then Draw Plus is a very simple and easy to use program that will enable you to do that. If you're going to make a PowerPoint and Camtasia video, and you don't have PowerPoint on your computer, then a good alternative can be found with the LibreOffice Office Suite, which you can download for free from LibreOffice.org. And that's what I use to make the graphic slides in this video. To record it, you can use Camtasia, and again, that's what I'm using to make this video. And you can download it from this site here, techsmith.com/camtasia.html. Now, Camtasia is not free software, and it is quite expensive, but it's well worth the investment. And you can get a free trial version. So what you can do is download the free trial, use it to make your video, and you'll probably generate some income from your website that you can then use to pay for the full version of Camtasia. If you don't want to do that, if you want a free version, then a good free alternative is Cam Studio, which you can find here at camstudio.org. And it is open source software, and you can download it for free. It doesn't come with the editing capabilities that Camtasia does. So if you do use this, then you will need to get probably Serif Movie Plus to edit it properly. Whichever type of video you choose to make, you must make sure that it's in a format and size that YouTube will accept. Now, at the time that I'm making this video, their recommended settings are an MP4 file at 1280 by 720 pixels at 30 frames per second. The audio should be in stereo with a sample rate of 96 kilohertz or 48 kilohertz. When your videos are done, you'll need to upload them, so log into YouTube, click on the button here that says Upload, and then you can select the video files that you want from your computer and then simply follow the on-screen instructions. It's all fairly straightforward. You also want to upload your script as a text file and sync it with the captions. That's why I said it's so important that you do actually write it all down, because that way the keywords will get indexed and your YouTube video will be much more likely to show up. And so therefore, once you get a top-rated YouTube video, you may be fortunate and you can get that onto the first page of Google. So there you go, a quick and easy way to get some free traffic via YouTube. In part one of this video, we talked about keywords and their role in search engine optimization. But there is a second aspect to getting good SEO ranking, and that is building effective backlinks. And we're going to talk about that in this video. Now, backlinks are incoming links from other websites or blogs to your site or blog. And if your website has a large number of quality backlinks from good websites, it'll be considered popular and worthy of a higher ranking in the search or search engine ranking positions. The links must be from high-ranking quality or authority sites. And since their Penguin update, Google has focused on quality rather than quantity when it comes to links. So spammy links from link farms will do your site more harm than good. And so you should avoid link building services on sites like Fiverr.com because they just tend to be very spammy and not very effective. Now, this diagram gives you an idea as to a typical linking to a site. You can see they are from lots of different types of sites. You've got from authority blogs, you've got from a .edu site, high-ranking forum, from testimonials, RSS directories, high-ranking site, forum signature, YouTube video, Facebook post, Twitter, social bookmarking sites, DMOZ, link to us page, and so on. And obviously, the more links you can get, the better. But as I was saying just now, do bear in mind that they do need to be quality links. And you do need to be a variation of links, because if more people from different types of sites are linking to your site, then it's going to make your site appear to be more popular and therefore get pushed to the top of the search engine ranking. Here are 5 ways to get quality backlinks. The first way is to comment on do follow blogs. So what you want to do is find a niche-related blog that allows links. You want to write an informative, keyword-rich comment and include your link. You want to be sure to include useful information in your comment. Useful information that readers of the blog, and more particularly the blog owner, is going to feel adds something to the content. And the blog owner will no doubt appreciate that and is going to be more likely to leave your link in place. Spammy stuff like great post, well, they don't contribute anything and they'll probably get deleted. Now, one way to tell do follow blogs from no follow blogs is to install the SEO Book SEO toolbar for Firefox, which you can download from tools.seobook.com/SEO-toolbar/. And it tells you a lot of information about sites that you search for in search engines like Google and Bing. And if I scroll down a bit, you can see they do actually have a video on the site which explains all about it. Another way to get backlinks is to use press releases. You want to send out a press release about important updates to your website or blog. And this has two advantages. First of all, you're going to get a backlink from the press release site. And if a news site names your blog as the source, they may also include a link to your site. If you're not making very many updates to your blog, one thing that you can do is compare the best products in your niche and send a press release out about your findings. Another way to get links back from news sites, and indeed to be regarded as an authority on your subject, is to sign up on this site here, helpareporter.com/sources. And they call this thing HARO, or Help a Reporter Out. And what will happen is, once you've signed up, they'll send you an email several times a day with requests for information from journalists. You can then pitch your site or yourself as a source. If you're chosen, then they will either cite your website as a source, or they might interview you. And when the story gets published, there'll be a link back to your website as the source. A very simple way to get backlinks is to simply ask people to link to you. Have a link to our source, spread the word page on your blog, and ask readers to link to you. You want to make it easy for them by providing the direct HTML code and your desired anchor text, and it should look something like this. .edu links are highly regarded by search engines, and one way you can get those is to establish yourself as an expert or a resource site. Lots of universities have resource pages to help students with projects. So what you can do is email the university telling them about your site and suggesting it could be a useful resource to their students. And if they agree and they list your site on their resource pages, you'll get a .edu backlink. One way to find them is to do searches like this in Google. Enter site:/.edu followed by your keyword, or your keyword plus resources, or your keyword plus in URL : links, or your keyword plus other sites. And that will give you some resources to go through. And then you just simply contact the university and ask them, as I just discussed. Now, a few things to bear in mind here. First and foremost, your site needs to be world-class to merit inclusion, because obviously universities only want the best resources for their students. And don't expect many of them to respond. In fact, if 5% respond at all, you'll be lucky. But you don't need many .edu links to boost your rankings. And finally, you should ask sites that mention you or your site to include a link. So do a search for either your name or your website URL. And when you find these sites listed, well, go to the site, thank the website owner for the mention, and stress the benefits to their website visitors of being able to visit your site for more information. So the website visitors will be able to get more information and you will get the link. So it's a win-win situation for both of you. Now, bear in mind that you do need to implement both of these strategies in order to get good search engine optimization. You need to have good keywords and you need to have good backlinks. But once you've got that, and once people can find your site in the search engines in Google and other search engines, then you should get a stream of free traffic that will last and last and last. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps to getting free traffic via guest posting. Now, what is guest posting? Well, guest posting means posting an article on someone else's blog for free in return for a link back to your own blog. And it's a win-win situation for you both. You get exposure and free traffic, and they get content that they don't have to write. So you can see, as I said, it's win-win for both parties. Another great thing about guest posting is it allows you to be associated with an authority in your niche. Because the blog owner is letting you have space on their blog, they're giving you a tacit endorsement, and this can greatly enhance your credibility. Now, how do you guest post effectively? Well, as I said, there are 5 steps to the process. Now, step number 1 is to find authority blogs in your niche. So you want to do a search in Google or other search engines for your niche and then blog. And you want to look at the ones on the first page of the search results. And you want to see how they rank. You want to look at things like their Google rank, their Alexa rank, the number of backlinks, and so on. And you want to draw up a short list of the top 10 blogs that you want to target, and you want to subscribe to them. Okay, step 2 is you want to read the blogs. So you want to read everything that they've got on the site. You want to go back to the earliest post possible, and you want to look at what's being covered. You also want to look for what's not being covered, because obviously these are the sort of subjects that you're going to want to suggest to the blog owner. You also want to look at the writing style, because obviously they'll want your article, your post, to fit in with the general overall style of their website. So you want to look at the word count. You want to see how long these articles are on their blog. You want to look at the spelling. Is it US English or British English? You want to look at the punctuation. You also want to look at the writing style. Is it a more formal style or is it an informal style of writing? Okay, step number 3 is to practice. You want to write a few practice articles in a style that will fit in with each blog that you intend to target. And you want to try rewriting the article in different styles until you're confident, so that if it doesn't get accepted by one blog, you can try and submit it to another blog. Then you want to approach blog owners. You want to email them either directly or via their contact form, and you want to compliment them on having such an informative blog. Ask them if they accept guest postings and suggest you have some articles that they might be interested in. Tell them that they can have them for free in return for a brief bio, that's a brief biography, and a link back to your site. One thing that you should not do, though, is to send articles unsolicited. Make sure that they do accept guest postings and that they would be interested in hearing from you. If you send them unsolicited, 2 things are going to happen. First of all, 9 out of 10 times they're going to be deleted, but also sometimes they might get published and you don't know about it. So you want to make sure that you keep tabs on where your articles are being published on which blogs. Now, here's a tip. Contact the blog owner at the bottom of your list first. So if you draw up a list of, say, 10 blogs, start with number 10 and work your way up to number 1. The reason for doing this is that when you first start approaching blog owners, chances are they're not going to publish your articles. They're going to reject them. Well, you can find out why, and you can tweak your approach, you can tweak your blog articles and that sort of thing, and then learn from that experience and move up to the next one. And so by the time you actually get to the person at the top of your list, you stand a much higher chance of being accepted because you've got the experience of submitting them to other blogs. Okay, step number 5 is to send the article. So once the blog owner has said, yes, I accept guest postings, send something to me, send them the article then. You want to make sure that it's not been posted on any other blog before, because if it's duplicate content, it will get penalized. And if it does get accepted, then don't publish it on any other blog, including your own. And if the owner rejects the article, then find out why. Ask for some constructive criticism or feedback from the owner. Now, if the owner does publish the article, first of all, you want to thank them. You also want to share details about the article and about the blog that you're posting it on social media. So write something about it on your Facebook page, tweet it to your Twitter followers, and so on. You also want to stick around to answer any comments that there may be on the article. And you can also offer to reciprocate and publish an article on your own blog. So there you go, 5 steps to getting free traffic via guest posting. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips on getting some quick and easy traffic via Twitter. Now, Twitter is an incredibly important and powerful social media network, and it's one of the largest on the net. It has approximately 316 million monthly active users, and it has about 1 billion registered users. So, as you can see, it is quite extensive. And if one of your tweets gets retweeted by a prominent user and starts trending, then you could get more traffic than you know what to do with, which isn't a bad problem to have. One way to make sure that you get lots of mentions on Twitter is to make sure that your site has a follow us on Twitter button. Or better yet, you can add a Twitter feed to your website. And not only does this make it easy for people to follow you if they want to, but you're also going to be giving them a little taster of the kind of content they can expect if they do follow you. And of course, having a Twitter feed on your website has the added bonus of keeping your website looking active by filling it with new content. So every time you send a tweet on Twitter, it automatically updates your website. A really simple way of accomplishing this is to use the WP Twitter Feeds plugin, which you can install from the WordPress dashboard. And what it does is it basically installs a widget which you can put in the sidebar of your blog, and every time you update your Twitter feed, or every time one of the Twitter feeds that you're following gets updated, then it'll automatically update your website as well, and it does save you a lot of time and hassle. You can install it from within the WordPress dashboard, or you can come here to wordpress.org and then do a search for WP Twitter feeds and then just install it in the usual way. You also want to make it easy for people to tweet about your site or your blog, and a good way to do that is to install the Shareaholic Share Buttons plugin on your WordPress blog. And again, you can install this from within the WordPress dashboard, or you can come to wordpress.org and then simply do a search, or go to wordpress.org/plugins/Shareaholic. You should tweet regularly to Twitter, and your tweets should be interesting and they should tie in to your blog content. And you should include a link back to the post. A lot of people say that you should use link shorteners when you're tweeting on Twitter, but when you want to get people to link back to your website, you want to include the full URL to help you with your SEO, because that will count as a full link. Now, don't make your tweets salesy. You want to make sure that they have a lot of good, useful information for your Twitter followers, because that way they're more likely to get retweeted. So, what do I mean? Well, let's say you have a weight loss blog where you review different weight loss products and then sell them as an affiliate. Let's look at a bad example of a bad tweet. You could say something like, "Get ready for summer with this cool diet aid," and then you've got the URL, hashtag supplements, hashtag fitness, hashtag fat burning. Well, that's very salesy, and people know that if they click on the link and go to your blog, they're just going to get a sales pitch, something that they don't really want. People don't like to be sold to. They like to have information so that they can make an informed decision, but something that's a blatant sales pitch is going to get ignored. So how can you change that? Well, let's take a look at this other example here. You could tweet something like, "This could certainly help me lose my spare tire if this works on humans." And then the URL, hashtag supplements, hashtag fitness, hashtag fat burning. Well, that invokes people's curiosity. People are going to think, if what works on humans? And they might be more inclined to click the article link just out of curiosity, and then they can read the article, and it should be an informative article, not a sales page, and then they may well buy the affiliate product. Another way to get traffic is to retweet tweets from other users that are relevant to your niche, because then that keeps your Twitter feed full of lots of different information. And of course, if you retweet people's tweets, they may well reciprocate and retweet your tweets. Something else that you can do is to use automated tools to keep your Twitter feed active. Now, one way you can really save time when you're updating Twitter is to automate it using a service like Buffer. And what Buffer does is it lets you write a whole bunch of tweets in one go. So whenever you have the time, you can sit down and you can write a whole bunch of tweets ahead of time. And then Buffer will schedule them to be tweeted to your Twitter account at predefined intervals. So you don't have to do your Twitter tweeting in the here and now. You can actually plan it ahead of time and then slowly have the tweets posted automatically, so that you don't have to devote a lot of time to Twitter. You can sort of schedule your time much more efficiently. And you can find out more about it at buffer.com. Bear in mind that Twitter works best and generates the most traffic when it's used in conjunction with other social media as part of a larger campaign. One of the best ways to get free traffic is through search engines, and the best way to get free traffic from search engines is via search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO. And there are two key components to getting good rankings in the search engines, and the first one, which we're going to cover in this video, is choosing the right keywords. Because you see, keywords are the most important part of your site as far as the search engines are concerned. Search engines really are just big databases, and keywords basically tell sites like Google what to file your website under. When you type a search term into Google or any other search engine, you're basically telling them what you're looking for. And so unless they have the keywords, unless they know what the website's all about, then they won't be able to find it for you. And you can see here we're using search engine optimization as our keyword, and all these sites here, all these sites down here, they're all optimized for that keyword phrase, search engine optimization. So I'll know when I go to each and every one of these sites that they're all about search engine optimization. And that's why using the right keywords is so important, because without them, search engines won't know how to index your site. Your site will never be found, and you won't get any traffic. Of course, it's more complicated than that, though. You need to find keywords that have a high search volume, but keywords that have low competition. Now, what do these two terms mean? Well, high search volume means that lots of people are looking for sites like yours using that particular keyword. And low competition means not many other sites are indexed for that keyword, so your site stands a better chance of being found. Now, there are several tools out there that you can use to find keywords. Probably the most popular one is the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. Now, it's quite a long and complicated URL. So if you go to Google and just type in AdWords Keyword Planner, you'll be redirected to the sign up and login pages. You do have to have an account with Google in order to use this, but it is free and it's actually very simple to set up. Once you've logged in, you can come to this page here where you put in the information about your product or service. I'm going to use search engine optimization for this demonstration. And you can then get keyword ideas. For example, here it's got all sorts of information. You've got the keyword by relevance, and they're listed down here. It tells you the average monthly searches for that particular keyword. It tells you about the competition. Like we were saying earlier, you want to have keywords that have low competition. So, for example, here, SEO tips would be a good one to go for because it's got low competition and it gets a high number of searches, 8,100. This information here, the suggested bid, this is all to do with if you're actually going to bid on Google AdWords, if you're going to actually buy an AdWord for that particular keyword. But you don't actually have to use it for that purpose. You can use it just for general SEO. And also, it's got this graph here which gives you an idea as to the average monthly searches there are for these particular keywords. Another tool is Market Samurai. And it can be a bit hard to get your head around Market Samurai. At least I found it a bit difficult to begin with because it gives you a lot of information. And it gives you a lot more information than the Google AdWords keyword tool. It's a paid-for piece of software that you download onto your computer, and it can help you to really drill down and find some good keywords to target for maximum SEO. As I said, it is a paid-for piece of software, but there is a free trial. And if it works for you, then obviously you're expected to buy it. But you can find out more at marketsamurai.com. And as you can see, they've got a video on the site which explains how it all works. Want to get some fast, free forum traffic? Well, I'm going to show you how in this video. Now, forum traffic has several advantages. First of all, it's targeted because only people who are interested in your niche are going to go to the forum and read the posts and see your link. It's authority traffic, and it provides you with a backlink which can help with SEO or search engine optimization. Now, let me give you an example of this in action. I've come here to the Warrior Forum, which is warriorforum.com, and this is a forum for internet marketing. And you can see, as I scroll down, that lots of people have got clickable links in their signature file. Down a bit further, you can see all these different people. Some just had the link, some have other stuff written next to it here, and so on. Let me go a bit further down. You can see lots of different people here. And so on. And some have different typefaces and that sort of thing to make it stand out better. And also, like if you look at this guy here, he's also got, this isn't a clickable link, but he's got a copy and paste link to his site here. And if I click on his profile here and then go through to where it says contact info, you can see also there's a link to his homepage. So he's got several incoming links to different websites from this particular forum site. So there are several options for him to get traffic from this particular site. Now, some forum sites insist that you be a member for a certain length of time, have a certain number of posts, or that you be a fully paid up member before you can have a clickable link in your SIG. But it is worth doing. Now, here's a few tips when it comes to getting traffic via forum. First of all, you want to post something useful. Post some useful information and get some likes before adding your SIG. And don't make your SIG look like an advertisement. Lots of people say you should make it look like a want ad, but quite frankly, that just simply puts people off. And there must be some gain to the reader for clicking on your SIG. That could be satisfied curiosity, or it could be a giveaway. Both those tactics work. And of course, you should always check the forum rules when it comes to signature files, because they do vary from forum to forum, and if you fall foul of them, you might find yourself banned from the forum. And don't expect a lot of traffic from forums, but the forum traffic that you get will be very beneficial and it will be targeted. So there you go, a brief overview to getting fast, free forum traffic. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips on getting quick and easy traffic via Facebook. Now, lots of people think that the only way you can get traffic from Facebook is to pay for it via Facebook advertising, but that's not necessarily the case. While it's true that Facebook won't get you as much free traffic today as it would have done a few years ago, there are some key ways that you can still use Facebook to get traffic for free. And the first way is to, first of all, make your Facebook page appealing. You want to make your images big. Facebook is a visible medium, so you want to have something interesting for visitors to look at. So we're talking about things like photos, memes, infographics, that sort of thing. And secondly, you want to keep your updates short. So you want to use teasers to get people to visit your website or blog through curiosity. And you also want to make it easy for people to share your content on Facebook. So you want to have a like this on Facebook plugin on your website or blog. And you want to ask people to share your content. If they've found it useful, informative, or entertaining, chances are other people will too, so they'll be more likely to share it. If you have a WordPress blog, then one way to get more likes on Facebook is to install the Shareaholic plugin, which you can do from within the WordPress dashboard, or you can come here to wordpress.org/plugins/Shareaholic. And what this does is it puts the social media sharing buttons for Facebook as well as for Twitter and some other social media sites onto your site automatically, and people can then just simply click on the button to like your site. You should also update your page regularly, because the more active you are, the more regularly people will visit your page. And the more they visit your Facebook page, the more inclined they will be to visit your website or your blog. So a good way to engage with your audience is to ask questions. Questions regularly evoke a response, don't they? Getting interaction from your fans will raise your profile and get more likes. And what you should do is tie the questions in to your blog content. You also want to add links to your website, and you want to add these links from different places on Facebook. So you want to add some links to your web page from your About page on Facebook, from the milestones, and from photos that you post on Facebook. And you want to link different parts of your site or blog to these different places in Facebook, so they're not the same link being replicated over and over again. Because every link to your site from Facebook is going to boost your SEO or search engine optimization. So it's going to make your site more attractive to search engines like Google. Another good way to get traffic is to embed a video. You can make a short video and post it up on Vimeo, Vine, or YouTube, and then embed it into your Facebook page. So you could tie into an article on your blog with your video, and then have a call to action for people to visit your site at the end. So people watch the video, which is about the article that's on your blog, and then they can simply go to your blog to read more about it. You could also trawl Facebook looking for people who need your help. Now, sometimes people will mention that they're looking for this or that. So do a keyword search from time to time and then refer them to your site for a solution. And a good way to find these people is to look in Facebook groups related to your niche. Now, this can be quite time consuming, but of course it is going to tie in directly to your site. So it is going to get some direct traffic from people that you'll know have a genuine want or need for your product or service. So there we go, some quick and easy ways to get Facebook traffic. In this video, I want to give you an overview about how you go about getting free traffic via Instagram and Pinterest. Now let's talk about Instagram. Instagram is a social network that revolves around pictures. And it's about being personal and keeping people up to date with your activities. And it uses hashtags in a similar way to Twitter. Now let's look at Pinterest. With Pinterest, you create mood boards from a collection of images. And you can share these boards with the world, or you can keep them private. There are a number of similarities between the two applications. First of all, they're both smartphone apps. They both revolve around images. They both can be used to drive traffic to your site for free. They're both good for businesses that focus on the visual or creative side of the web. They're both more popular with women than they are with men. And they're both more for building your brand rather than from direct sales, although you can make some direct sales from Pinterest. Okay, let's talk about Instagram. Instagram is all about sharing pictures, so it's imperative that you learn how to take good photos. Because if you take lousy pictures, it's going to give a lousy impression and people are going to think that you have a lousy site, that you offer a lousy service, or you sell a lousy product. So you want to learn how to take good photos before you start using Instagram. Now, the objective on Instagram is to allow your fans and followers a glimpse into your lifestyle so that they can feel like they know you. And this will build your brand loyalty and your authority. And it's going to make you more likable. And that's going to increase the chance that someone will visit your website through curiosity and ultimately buy something from you. And while the objective here is to provide an honest insight into your lifestyle, though, remember that you also want to appear to be knowledgeable. And if you're promoting a certain lifestyle or a product, then you want to imply that this actually works. Now, Pinterest works in a slightly different way insofar as you're going to use your images together rather than separately. And a lot of people will use Pinterest primarily for researching ideas and getting inspiration. So if they enjoy interior design, graphic design, fashion or fitness, it's likely that they'll have lots of boards relating to that topic. What's more, they'll probably be following some other boards created by big brands in those areas. Now, of course, your objective is to be one of those brands that people follow. And this is a prime opportunity to show off your products, your services, and your website. You shouldn't be too salesy on Pinterest. Like with Instagram, you want to arouse people's curiosity. And you want to vary the types of images and materials that you post on your Pinterest board. Now, there are some key things that you should do on both platforms. First of all, you should post regularly and make sure that you keep posting on a regular basis. You don't want to allow these to go dead. You want to use hashtags wisely, especially on Instagram. It uses the same type of hashtags as they do on Twitter. You want to interact with other users. After all, they are both social networks, and getting people to visit either your Instagram feed or your Pinterest boards has a lot to do with how popular you are on the site, how you put yourself out there. You want to link to your website from both Pinterest and Instagram. And you also want to cross-pollinate with other social media. So, for example, especially with Instagram, seeing as they use the same type of hashtags as Twitter, you could tweet a picture that you've just posted on Instagram, that sort of thing. And you also want to make it easy for other people to share your content. Now, we've only had time to scratch the surface about Instagram and Pinterest in this video. They are both quite complicated platforms, but there are lots of tutorials out there that can help you find out more information. And if you just do a search in Google, you'll find that there's lots of different sites devoted to talking about Instagram and Pinterest, lots of blogs that have useful tips and that sort of thing. So there you go. This is how you can get some traffic via Instagram and Pinterest.